Hey guys, it's HarleyWood. Welcome back. So for the past several months, I'm sure you've seen it also, a lot of these Icarus Precision P365s have been all over YouTube, all over Instagram. Tactical Toolbox did one. Mike from Tactical Considerations did one. The 365 is nice, but for the rest of the men out there, let's focus on the P320. I'm just kidding, Mike. Don't bench press me, bro.
A few hours later.
PewView makes this look so easy. Oh. Everything you're gonna see today is on a range. If you're a YouTube moderator reviewing this, we are on a firing range. All of these guns have been safety checked, all right? Before we get too much into this, there will be links in the description below to the full build, okay, for all of the parts if you guys wanna go find them. For example, it's a Killer Innovation slide, Agency Arms Premier barrel. I've got an Apex trigger in here. The takedown lever as well as the mag release are from Align Tactical. Really, really cool products. I'm gonna do a full review and a giveaway of those coming soon. So jump in my newsletter. There's a link in the description below, best way to be notified. But today we're gonna focus on these grip modules from Icarus Precision. So the one that you see here is the Ace SOCOM Carry. This one is the Ace X Carry, all right? So it doesn't have quite the magwell on the bottom. A couple other differences. You can see it's a little bit more subdued looking. It looks a little bit more like your P320 would. Let's go over some of the features and differences between these two, and maybe it'll help you make your buying decision. So if we go back to the SOCOM here, you'll see the SOCOM has this really nice beaver tail on the back there, really helps prevent from getting that slide bite. Now, the slide on the P320 rides a little bit higher than say your Glock does anyway, so it's not as big of a problem on P320s, but you do have that nice beaver tail in the back there. So one of the biggest defining features you'll see here, this is a flared magwell built in. First of all, these are aluminum frames. These are not your Wilson Combat, injection molded plastic frames. These are a little tiny bit heavier. I want to say this one's about 5 ounces heavier than my Wilson Combat. Texturing on the SOCOM version is a little bit more aggressive. In fact, it's quite a bit more aggressive. You'll also notice on the SOCOM, the trigger guard is undercut in 2 places. So you can get a really good purchase and get your hand up high, your primary hand, and then your support hand can also fit in the relief cut that is here as well. And so you get a nice high purchase on this pistol. Now, if you look at the mag release from Align Tactical here, you'll see that it's offset. So not only does it stick out a little bit further, but it's also pushed up. So when I get a purchase on this, it actually sits above my fingers. So it's extended, but my fingers don't ride on top of it, even with the undercut here. So this is my current carry pistol. It is also unloaded. It is a Wilson Combat P320. You'll notice that it's not undercut nearly as high here. When I put my hand on the pistol, you'll see that my fingers sit on top of that mag release. So that offset extended one from Align Tactical helps to mitigate that. The FCU that's in this particular one started out as an M18, so you can see that it does have a manual safety on it. They do make these grip modules for both the manual safety as well as the non-safety version. And while this is the carry version, they also have a full-size model as well. Now, switching on over to the X Carry version, you can see it's a little bit more subdued. It doesn't have the exaggerated flared magwell. It is mildly flared in there, all right, probably about as much as the Wilson Combat is. Grip texture is still aggressive, but not nearly as aggressive as that SOCOM version was, and the beaver tail is not quite as hooked and pronounced as the SOCOM version. Now, the X Carry model does have a relief undercut on the trigger guard here, so you can still get quite a high purchase with your primary hand, but it doesn't have the secondary relief cut on the trigger guard for your support hand. And you can see on this one, I have a factory mag release on there, and my finger does partially cover it when I get my grip. And there's also a different color for these. It is that fire bronze Cerakote. I'll roll in a picture of it here so you can see it. That thing is absolutely beautiful. In fact, I don't have a 365. I love that grip module so much that I'm probably going to buy a 365 just so I can get one of those. Traditionally, I've kind of stayed away from the subcompact firearms. I like my round capacity. And the 365 came out. It had that higher round capacity, so it's had my attention. I haven't pulled the trigger on it, but Icarus Precision, that grip module. Now, I don't think I can post a link in the description below. Even though Icarus doesn't make any serialized parts, I don't know that YouTube would understand that. So if you find Icarus Precision, read the story on how they came up with this SOCOM profile. It was modeled after the 2011, feels very much like one, incredibly comfortable. It's a pretty cool story. In fact, what I'll do is I'll post a link in the description below to my website where you'll have the full parts list for both of these guns. And from there, I will link to them respectively on Icarus Precision, and you can read the story. If you're not familiar, the beauty of the P320 is that it is incredibly modular. So you can actually take the fire control unit out of here. That is the serialized component. And you can put it in these different grip modules, okay? So the grip module is just a piece of plastic you buy, ships right to your door. You put your fire control unit in there, and that becomes the firearm. When Wilson Combat first came out with these, I bought one. It was incredibly comfortable. I've since bought 3 of them, and I love them until the Icarus Precision started coming out and catching my attention. Now, I have not gone away from this one as my daily carry yet, only because on the X Carry, I have about 150 rounds through it. On the SOCOM version, I have a little bit less than that. I want to do a little bit more due diligence to make sure that they are going to be reliable before I rotate them into a carry. Now, in terms of which one I'm going to carry, probably the X Carry. The only reason I say that is the grip module, that texturing on the X Carry is much more forgiving than it is on that SOCOM version. And unless you wear a piece of clothing or something to shield it from your body, that SOCOM grip texturing would absolutely tear your skin up, especially appendix carry. It's going to eat you alive. If you wear a piece of clothing in between, probably not going to be as big of a problem. Again, keep in mind why the SOCOM was developed, okay? It was developed for competition shooters. They're not necessarily carrying it daily up against their skin, so it kind of made sense. That's it, guys. That is your overview of the Icarus Precision Ace SOCOM carry and the X Carry versions of their grip modules. If you're interested in these or any of the other parts that I have on these, again, there's a link in the description below, full parts list on my website. Hey guys, I appreciate your time watching. If you like this kind of content, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, give it a like down below. The more you like my videos, the more it shows up in the feeds of other people who have, propensities to watch videos like you do. So I appreciate that like. Lots more content to come. I will see you on the next one.